What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and I wanted to make this last video of 2020 about what is coming in 2021 so you guys can go into the year strong, start off with some great profits, and just continue the way that we continued the end of 2020. Because honestly, although this year sucked in a lot of ways, this was the best year in the history of the stock market for trading. There's a lot of people who never traded before, who got into trading and who had a lot of success, but we don't know what 2021 is going to bring. So we need to trade with caution, not think that we're on top of the world just because we've had some profits this year. Definitely trade cautiously, but also, take those good setups and go in with size when we have them. So I've got some great setups for you guys, and I'm gonna be talking about them today, as well as giving you guys a recap of what happened in the market today, some of the trades that I took, and yeah, as an update, if you didn't see my pinned comment on the last video, I will be making a Discord at some point this weekend, so look out for that. And once that's live, I'll be telling you guys all the things that I'm looking out for, all the plays that I think could happen, pretty much live throughout the day. So if you're trading or looking for that, it's going to be a really great option. So yeah, look out for that, and I will talk to you guys soon. I don't know why I said that. We're going. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, I'm really sorry about that weird outro. I don't know. Sometimes I have attachment issues. I can't say goodbye. But here we are on my computer. This is the chart for the number one play of the day. Unfortunately, I missed this one because I didn't feel like chasing. I had an option to buy it when it broke out over 1 penny. And I did not, and it ended up going all the way up to, 165. This is a misprint, so was this. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes it just, there's a buy that prints way above where the seller is. So I don't know if that's just a broker screwing over someone using a market order or what it is, but that's the reason for this happening. So this is not an actual print, but I mean, you can see this was up a crazy amount, 472%. And if we look at the history of this, I mean, it had a nice run up here. And continued on up. So I'm definitely going to be watching this one closely in 2021. Not sure what it's going to do yet. I don't want to chase, but if we can get a nice base in here, maybe base out around a penny, and then curl back on up for the break of 2 pennies, that would be super nice. So I'm definitely going to be watching that one. Let's see what else. So yeah, ACY. This was one that, if you guys remember, it went from, if we go back to 5 days, this one went supernova the other day, and I bought it in here, underestimated it, and also sold it right here, right before this massive spike. Well, today it started doing the same thing, and I didn't see it until right about. I didn't see it until after it had already gotten halted, spiking up, and it came back down. But here is where I actually noticed it. So I saw it in here, and I ended up buying it. I believe it was on this green candle for the breakout of 10, but when I saw that it cracked, I sold for measly profits right there, and then I ended up underestimating it and not getting the dip buy here, and it ripped up on through, cracked immediately back down. I should have gotten in there, and it ripped back up again, was halted to the upside, and continue to rip on up. So the reason that this, I think, was such a good long play was because if you look at it from my perspective, it looks like a horrible play to go long on. And that is sometimes when the shorts get really aggressive and then they end up not covering their positions for too long, which means that they end up getting squeezed out. So, I mean, if you look at this is just not a good chart. So, I mean, it spikes up, it fails, it spikes up again, it fails, it spikes up again, fails even lower. Tries to bounce, fails, tries to bounce again. So, I mean, at this point, there's people who've been shorting it all into this, and they're not covering their positions because they're just assuming it's going to fail. So there's people who are shorting this, shorting into these spikes, shorting into these spikes, assuming it's going to fail. So when it spikes up past that and is able to hold those levels, this is where you want to get the entry. And again, it's the spike up and then the break through those highs. And obviously this didn't run up to 38 this time. But I mean, this still was a great trade. I wish I'd held it longer, but I'm working on that. I think I need to get better about being okay with being down a little bit on my trades, especially in such high reward scenarios like this, because if you buy and then you sell when it drops 20 cents below, because you don't want to lose that, you're never going to be able to have a great entry, you know. You're never going to get time the bottom that perfectly where it never goes against you. So I think I need to give myself more patience. I'm so about cutting losses quickly that I think I cut them too quickly and miss out on these plays where I actually have the right sense about it. Now, if I go here, TAUG, this is another one that I really want you guys to be watching, because this one, if you look at the 5-day chart, continually uptrending and really just broke out here through this 1 penny area. If we go to 1 year, I mean, it's at 52-week highs right now, looking really good. I think that penny area, I mean, that was an important break, and you know, really just spiking up going into close. But if we go look at their website, this is the thing that interests me a lot. So there's a lot of things about their website that honestly aren't that great. You know, they have some CBD stuff which looks promising, but the thing that interests me the most is the fact that they had this deal with Blink Charging. And this was a while ago. Now, this press release was back from 2018. But I think with what Blink has been doing, if you guys know, Blink is, you know, within the same hype as Tesla, the electric vehicle. So if I go to BLNK, you look at this over the last year. I mean, look at this chart, man. This is up from 150 all the way up to 55. So I think we could definitely see, not that type of run, obviously, but we could definitely see a big move from TAUG, you know, get up to 50 cents or $1. So I'm not going to be chasing this one just because I think there's a little bit of risk. Well, I guess a lot of bit of risk. But if we can get a good dip buy on it and then, you know, be willing to cut if it starts cracking, I think this could definitely be a good swing trade. And I probably wouldn't hold a negative position on it, but, you know, still potentially a day trade as well, because you can see the crazy volatility on this one. So definitely be watching this. COUV, this was one that I told you guys about yesterday in my video yesterday, and I mean, this was up, you know, 50% today. That was actually pretty crazy. I wish I'd seen this one earlier as well, because I mean, perfect, beautiful, but in this case, you know, I didn't see it, but things are always in play. So if you see this, I mean, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Just ripped on up through those highs. So that's another one. Keep on your watch list, guys. We don't know what it's going to do. If it rips up past these highs, it could continue to run for sure. I love the volatility on this one. I'm not sure if I had any trades on this one today. BNGO. This is one that I should have put on the video yesterday, but I didn't, just because I underestimated it. So let me explain a little bit why. So if I go to the 2-day chart, let's do 3 minutes on the 2-day chart. So you can see here, this stock spiked up, had a nice uptrend, but it pretty much just failed. And you know, it was down a lot from its highs. And so this was, you know, where I would be making the video, and I saw that and I was like, I'm not too interested in this thing. But then after hours, man, it picked back up and was right at this level at market open of breaking these highs. And so, you know, this would have been a good sign that, like, wow, this is doing something crazy. And this was actually a decent short right at open, because there was a huge spike and then it just basically failed. And I know some people who shorted this, but then this ended up turning into a short trap, because, you know, you're expecting that it's going to fail. It couldn't break the highs. It's double topping there, but it ends up creeping on up. And this is why you got to cut losses on the short side as well. You know, it breaks out over this area after, you know, triple topping, quadruple topping there. So it's not able to break out over this area, but then when it does, it goes on to absolutely just run. And then after hours, you can see this thing went absolutely insane. So I'm definitely going to be watching this one on Monday. Not sure what it's going to do. Again, there's no trading tomorrow if you guys did not know that. So be looking out for that. PMPG, this one I told you guys about yesterday. And I mean, you can see, went crazy. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I guess this is the 1-day chart, but still up, you know, another 44%. It had a little bit of a dip, so you could have gotten this at, you know, 10 cents and went all the way up to $17.50. Definitely still on the watch list. This is, again, the one that had really good due diligence. So do your research. There's some good people who are doing research on Twitter if you want to go look at some of their feeds and don't know where to look for stuff. But I think they have some good patents, and this is likely to continue to run. So definitely be on the watch for that one. RHE. This today was just a sympathy play because of ACY. So I mean, I made some measly profits on this one, looking for the U-shaped breakout, similar. So I ended up getting in, I think, around here, and then it failed, so I ended up selling like in there or something like that. So overall, that's what happened there. Let's see, AINC. This is one that I lost on, just so you guys can see what happened. So it's a similar thing. This one, I'm not too happy with myself, just because I ended up double topping, and I chased into this. It's just, you know, it's a mistake, and it's something that I need to learn from. Don't chase into breakouts. Just don't do it. It's a bad habit to be into. I would rather dip buy or get, you know, at least a U-shaped breakout. So definitely not good. I was in these down halts, and that was rough, you know. And I was in small because I knew it was risky, but I mean, still, it's a dumb trade, so I don't want to trade that. GAXY. This one was a beautiful panic. If you look 5 days, this was another perfect overnight. I mean, if you see this trend, I mean, this is just beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. This is a beautiful overnight, and you could have sold way up there and market open. But then because of that, you know, it had a beautiful open high, beautiful gap up, but then it panicked down, and it had a beautiful dip buy opportunity. So if you go here, oh shoot, I'm messing up my charts. But I mean, yeah, look at this. You had a dip buy opportunity there, another one there. This cracked off. Not really any good dip buy opportunities here. I tried to dip buy this here, but I ended up not being able to do it, and it's unfortunate because it went on to run. I traded a little bit more after that in some of these areas, but I ended up cutting too quickly, and then it continued to run past where I was. So I just missed the great entry right there. Again, when you see a ton of red candles in a row, that's usually a good sign, especially if it's approaching some type of support. So this was a really good dip buy just because it was right at that psychological area of 2 cents. The whole number, and you know, right after a lot of red sell-offs. The more selling there is, the more likely it is it's going to bounce at some point. TSNP, this one right here, the bounce was weird again on this one, even though we had the morning sell-off. If you go look here at 16 cents, I tried to get in here. It was very obvious, but I missed the execution by that much just because I was late pulling the trigger. Could have sold here for a decent profit, but ended up, you know, again, not being in there. I ended up getting in for the break of 17 and selling for a small profit when there was a seller that was not going away, hiding size. Again, that always happens. And then it cracked down here, and you know, then it ended up breaking under 16. And we'll see what it does, man. I'm not a huge fan again of this volume trend. It just looks like it's pretty much decreasing. So we'll see what happens. Maybe when they update the ticker, you know, it'll get some more hype and some more interest in this stock. But until that point, I'm scared to hold a position long in this for a very long time because I still think, you know, there's the potential this could drop back down into this area. We just don't know what's going to happen. So I would rather, you know, ride a wave going on up or dip by it when it's a clear instant profit versus holding it and potentially having a position slip away from me. FUBO. I just want to show you guys this one. This I was actually messing around with some options trading. If you look at the 1 year chart for this thing is completely beaten down. And this is kind of around the area where it should see some support. You can see it had a massive spike and then a massive sell-off after someone says it's completely overvalued and that they were shorting it. I'm not sure who that person was who said that, but apparently, you know, they're kind of a big deal. So in this case, I actually messed around, and this is, you know, too high price for me to, and not volatile enough for me to make money on significantly with normal trading equities. So I actually started messing around with some options here. And when I saw it bouncing off this level, saw this uptrend here, I ended up buying some call options. Well, I guess just one contract. This is my Robinhood account. I'm just messing around right about here, and it held this uptrend, held it, and I ended up selling here right when it broke through this trend for like small profits. I don't know, 5-10%, something like that. So just, you know, an interesting strategy. Just testing that out. I know options are a lot more volatile, but it's kind of cool to play around with that and see what happens. But again, you know, this is the beauty of technical analysis. As soon as it breaks this trend, I mean, if you see one little wick through there, it's not a big deal. But if you see a second red candle through there, it's game over. And in this case, you know, that turned out to be the case. So I'm definitely glad I'm out of that. I'm not sure what the price for those options are now, but I'm positive that they're significantly lower than when I sold out. So I definitely took some profits that would otherwise have been a big loss if I had kept holding that. And then VISM. This is the other one. This is the one that looked like it would be a good overnight. Yeah, let me get 2 days here. So this looked like it would be good overnight, but actually if you go look at 1 minute on the 2-day chart, there was actually kind of, I think this is more of a spike than you want to see into close, you know, even though it's uptrending all day, I think it's a little bit more than you would want to see if you're trying to go long, like right here. And then also the fact that there was like kind of a decent sell-off right here, I don't think that's a good sign. So I think, you know, moving forward, I think it's nice to see a gradual uptrend all day and maybe a little bit of a spike, you know, maybe up to here or something. But I think this is excessive, and the fact that there was the downtrend right into close is not a good sign. So, I mean, knowing that moving forward is definitely good. But, I mean, overall, this was a good dip buy if you could get it down here. But I wasn't watching this one super closely at that time. So, yeah, I mean, we had a ton of stuff that was really moving today. I guess BNSO. This was another one that I saw because it was on the halt list. If you guys don't know what that is, it's the NASDAQ halts. Go watch some of my previous videos. I talk about that. So I found it there and ended up ripping past this. So I was able to make a little bit on there. But again, it was very choppy. So I ended up, you know, just taking some measly profits on this one. Alrighty guys, that is pretty much it for this video. If you made it this far, please remember to drop a like on the video. It really helps out this channel. And I'll see you guys in 2021. Also, side note, if you guys are interested, this is one of the shirts that I have on my website, inspiretheworldapparel.com. Never not working. I just like how that works. You know, if you're in e-commerce or in stocks or whatever, you know, you make money online. You can always be making money even when you're sleeping. So I love that fact, and this kind of represents that to me. So anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in 2021. Until then, let's grow better together.
Besar tu boca si te despiertas, mi tiempo también es tuyo porque me inspiras. Solo quiero que seas la única que así me mira.